The food was so good that with each passing course, our conversation devolved further into fragmented celebrations of its deliciousness. I want this dragon carrot risotto to become a person so I can take it to Las Vegas and marry it. Sweet pea sorbet. You're so unexpectedly magnificent. I wish I'd been hungrier. After green garlic gnocchi with red mustard leaves, the waiter said, "Dessert next. More stars first." I shook my head. 2 glasses was enough for me. Champagne was no exception to my high tolerance for depressants and pain relievers. I felt warm, but not intoxicated. But I didn't want to get drunk. Nights like this one didn't come along often, and I wanted to remember it. Hmm, I said after the waiter left, and Augustus smiled crookedly as he stared down the canal while I stared up, stared up it. We had plenty to look at, so the silence didn't feel awkward really. But I wanted everything to be perfect. It was perfect, I guess. But it felt like someone had tried to stage the Amsterdam of my imagination, which made it hard to forget that this dinner, like the trip itself, was a cancer perk. I just wanted us to be talking and joking comfortably, like we were on the couch together back home. But some tension underlay everything. "It's not my funeral suit," he said after a while. "When I first found out I was sick, I mean, they told me I had like an 85% chance of cure. I know those I know those are great odds, but I kept thinking it was a game of Russian roulette. Russian roulette. I mean, I was gonna have to go through hell for 6 months or a year, and I lose my leg, and then at the end, it still might not work. "I know," I said, although I didn't, not really. I'd never been anything but terminal. All my treatment had been in pursuit of extending my life, not curing my cancer. Phil and Cypher had introduced a measure of ambiguity to my cancer story. But I was different from Augustus. My final chapter was written upon diagnosis. Gus, like most cancer survivors, lived with uncertainty. "Right," he said. "So I went through this whole thing about wanting to be ready. We bought a plot in Crown Hill, and I walked around with my dad one day and picked out the spot. And I had my whole funeral planned out and everything. And then, right before the surgery, I asked my parents if I could buy a suit, like a really nice suit, just in case I did it. Anyway, I've never had occasion to wear it until tonight. So it's your death suit, correct? Don't you have a death outfit?" "Yes," I said. "It's a dress I bought for my 15th birthday party. But I don't wear it on dates." His eyes lit up. "Or on a date?" he asked. I looked down, feeling bashful. "Don't push it." We are both really full. What dessert? A succulently rich cremex surrounded by passion fruit was too good not to at least nibble. So we lingered for a while over dessert, trying to get hungry again. The sun was a toddler insistently refusing to go to bed. It was past 8:30 and still light. Still light. Out of nowhere, Augustus asked, "Do you believe in an afterlife?" "I think forever is an incorrect concept," I answered. He smirked. "You're an incorrect concept." "I know, that's why I'm being taken out of the rotation." "That's not funny," he said, looking at the street. 2 girls passed on the bike, one riding a side saddle over the back wheel. "Come on," I said. "That was a joke. The thought of you being removed from the rotation is not funny to me," he said. "Seriously, though." "Afterlife?" "No," I said, and then revised. "Well, maybe I wouldn't go so far as no. You?" "Yes." he said, his voice full of confidence. Yes, absolutely. Not like a heaven where you ride the unicorns, play harps, and live in a mansion made of clouds. But yes, I believe in something with a capital S, always have. Really? I asked. I was surprised. I'd always associated belief in heaven with, frankly, a kind of intellectual disengagement. But Gus wasn't dumb. Yeah, he said quietly. I believe in that line from An Imperial Affliction. The risen sun too bright in her losing eyes. That's God, I think, the rising sun. And the light is too bright and her eyes are losing, but they aren't lost. I don't believe we return to haunt or comfort the living or anything. But I think something becomes of us. But you fear oblivion. Sure, I fear earthly oblivion. But I mean, not to sound like my parents, but I believe humans have souls. And I believe in the conversation of souls. The oblivion fear is something else. Fear that I won't be able to give anything in exchange for my life. If you don't live a life in service of a greater good, you've got to at least die a death in service of a greater good, you know? And I fear that I won't get either a life or a death that means anything. I just shook my head. What? He asked.